Miss Priscilla at the Upper West Library, and I'm book talking a new horror novel called The Bad Ones by Melissa Albert. So this is definitely horror, but there is a mystery suspense thriller aspect to it because there is some investigation as to what's going on, because we know there's this entity that takes people without a trace, or mostly without a trace. And one of our characters is kind of investigating because her friend is one of the people who disappear. So this starts out, the first chapter is a little disconcerting, or at least it was for me, because it went to 4 different scenes. It's kind of like, and you were like, well, wait, when did it change? What it is it's the disappearance of the 4 people. So there's the disappearance of a 13-year-old girl at a sleepover, an adult art teacher at the school, another boy who I think is still in high school or first year of college, and then Becca. Now, Becca is the best friend of the person who is our main character, which is Nora. They have been best friends forever, but their relationship has been really on the rocks lately because of a number of things. To understand Nora and their relationship, important things are that Becca lost her mother when she was about between 10 and 12, and then she lost her father, I'd say maybe 12. Then she lost her father 3 years later. So her mother died in an accident, and they didn't, they had no suspects. Her father died of an illness. Well, it turns out that the police did discover who caused the accident that killed her mother, but within 24 hours of them knowing, that person's dead. And Nora kind of feels like something they did caused that death, and it has to do with this thing called the Goddess Game. So this Goddess Game it's like a jump rope rhyme that the kids do, but it's also a sleepover game, like the Mary Will I into a mirror. But it's also a trust survival game, which Nora has played with Becca twice, and both times, one time definitely came near death, and one got injured pretty seriously. So this small town has these 4 disappearances, and the people are scattered all over the town in one night. So Nora, since Becca is one of the ones who disappeared, and Becca, the last thing she hears from Becca is a text saying, "I love you," she runs over to Becca's house, and she spends the night outside in the middle of winter and new ill things. So that's interesting enough. But then she gets home to find out that the next door neighbor was having a sleepover, and one of the 13-year-old girls at this party disappeared in the middle of the night. And as it comes out, there are 2 other people who disappeared. So Nora is investigating this because she wants to find Becca. She feels the need to find Becca because she feels bad about their rocky relationship and things like that. So, like I said, this Goddess Game plays a part of it. And trying to remember if I told you this, one thing that all of the 4 people who disappeared and that comes out in the first chapter, is they all see a girl who is surrounded by shadows. So, you don't find out what the bad thing is until later. And the Bad Ones has multiple meaning because it could be this entity, but there's also more to it than that as well. Because we find out that there have been multiple disappearances over the years in this small town, and people just disappearing without a trace. We don't find any bodies or anything like that. And we also find out many of these people have done things that are bad. So once again, the Bad Ones. So I didn't guess everything in this book, which I liked. I did enjoy this book. Nora is having blackout periods, so that's a concern, obviously. I would recommend this to people who like horror, but I also say you have to wait a little bit because the horror builds and the suspense builds, and finding out what the thing is, what the goddess is. So, if this is not your cup of tea, I'll help you find something else. Otherwise, have a fantastic day and keep on reading.